Hello everybody, I'm back with another video. If you're new to my channel, then welcome. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram and Twitter, then please do. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about Heartstopper Season 1. I'll be talking about spoilers, so if you haven't watched the show and would like to, please skip this video, and once you've watched the show, then you can come back. But if you don't care about spoilers, then keep on watching. Please keep in mind I have notes on this phone, so if you see me looking down, that is why. I'll be talking about the show character by character, then after I'll talk about other things related to the show. So the first character I'm going to talk about is Charlie. So Charlie is the main character of the show, and he is openly gay. He is an openly gay boy in year 10, and this year he's sitting next to a year 11 called Nick. So Nick is my bisexual king, but we will get there soon. We will get to him soon. I want to give a round of applause right now, so wait. Charlie, who's played by Joe Locke, is his first ever role. So the actor that plays Charlie is his first ever movie ever. So I was very surprised when I heard that, because if I saw the interview before I watched the show, I wouldn't have believed that it was his first ever acting role. The way he played Charlie was really good, and the parts that was my favourite was the moment when he was being vulnerable. And he was saying that everybody would be better off without him, and stuff like that. I felt the pain through the screen. You can see through the show, you see Charlie going through a lot of things. So things like being stereotyped, having a crush on a maybe straight guy, coming out from a toxic situation and accepting himself, but not because of his sexuality, not because of his sexuality. And you also get to see his journey of development. Okay. The next character I'm going to talk about is Nick, and Nick is my bisexual king. I love him a lot, and the reason why is because something that I love about his character is that they don't do the whole, because I'm bisexual, it means I must be an awful person, so I must be awful to everyone. So Nick's story is that he is the quarterback or the team captain of the rugby team, and he's in year 11. He becomes friends with Charlie, and then he starts to develop feelings for him, and he's questioning if he's gay or bi, which he turns out to be bi. When talking about a show like Heartstopper, the word that most people think of is R or cute, but of course with a lot of the shows, always happiness, there has to be a bit of drama, and here comes Ben and Harry with Ben. So the next character I'm going to talk about is Ben. Ben is one of Nick's friends, and in the beginning he was with Charlie, but it was behind closed doors. So he would text Charlie asking him to meet up so they can make out, but so they would go places to kiss where nobody could see them. But in the hallway, Ben would act like Charlie doesn't exist. So saying things like, "Why you talk to me? I don't know who you are," and stuff like that. So Ben is basically that character who is homophobic because they are gay, and instead of dealing with his problems, he takes it out on Charlie. And that scene in that one episode when he pushes Charlie against the wall, that's one of the times in the show that I felt uncomfortable. When Ben forces himself on Charlie, it gives me Nate vibes, and I don't like that. So it gives me Nate Jacob vibes from Euphoria. I do hope in season 2 that Ben will be able to figure out who he is, but he needs to stay away from Charlie. Do I feel like his story would have been that he comes out, has feelings for Charlie, but it's too late because he's in love with Nick? That's where I feel like his story is going. But to me, it feels like Ben is like a zit that will never go away, but then sometimes it comes back when you least expect it. The next character I'm going to talk about is Harry. So Harry is another one of Nick's friends. Same with Ben. Harry makes my skin crawl, but 10 times worse. I feel like Ben is the way he is because he's secretly in the LGBT, but with Harry, I think he's a jerk just for the sake of being a jerk. when he mentioned Harry Styles being sexy or hot, that's the only thing I agreed with Harry, but that's the only thing that I agreed that came out of Harry's mouth. But at the same time, I know he only said it to be spiteful, so that makes me dislike him even more. The thing about Harry is that he's a jerk, but not only that he's an idiot. You go to Nick saying all these things about Charlie and then get punched in the face, then afterwards you go to Tia or Tel, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I think it's Tora. Charlie's friend, I don't know how to pronounce his name. You go to him saying things like, look what he done to me, look at me, look at me. It's giving manipulation, it's giving victim blaming, and we don't need more of that. When he gets suspended, I was so happy, happier than I've ever been in a while. Did I wish it was more than that? Yes, I do, but I would take what I can get. The next character I'm going to talk about is Imogen. I feel bad for Imogen because she was getting so much hate when she was just a girl that had a crush on a guy, and that guy, meaning Nick, her feeling was big. Her feelings that was so big that she couldn't see the signs that was clearly in front of her face, but at the same time, when you have someone like Harry opening his mouth calling her coward and stuff like that, which goes back to the manipulation. So even though I did find her a bit annoying in the beginning, I can't blame her for not seeing the signs. I do find her very funny at times, and I really do appreciate that scene between her and Nick when they open up to each other. That scene was very hard to watch, but she deserves to know the truth, and that's another reason why I love Nick as a character, because he didn't lead her on. I can see that she's mostly likes Joy. I can see that she's most likely going to join the friend group, and I'm happy about that. I do hope she finds someone into her just as much as she's into them, and I do feel like that might be Isaac. Speaking of Isaac, the next character I'm going to be talking about is Isaac. Isaac is one of the guys who's in the main friend group from Charlie and still can't pronounce his name. I think it's Theo. Toa. Is that like Toa? I'm gonna say Toa, but if I'm wrong, I apologize. Isaac barely never speaks in the show, and he's one of the most relatable characters to me, apart from Nick. I wish that he was in the show more, and I hope he becomes a main character in season 2. The way he always has a book in his hand makes me smile as a person whose New Year's resolution was to get into reading more. I sadly don't have that much to say about Isaac because he isn't in the show that much, but when he is, I really love him, and he mostly just gets one-liners, but a lot of the one-liners he gets makes me laugh, and I think he deserves the world. The character I'm going to talk about is Tori. So Tori is Charlie's sister, and the same with Isaac. I can't say that much about her because she's barely in the show, but I really love her character, and I think she's very funny. One of my favourite lines is after Charlie says that he broke up with Ben, and she says to him, was he a knob or something like that, and Charlie responds by saying yes, and she says, well done then. That made me laugh. And also when she's saying about how she didn't think Nick is straight, and when she finds out about them, she says she knew it or she called it. Charlie needs a lot of show to spy on them kind of people in his life, and even if it makes me sad that there are always going to be people like Harry and Ben, but on the other side, there's always going to be people like Tori and Nick. So the next person I'm going to talk about is Toa. Again, I apologise if I'm saying his name wrong, but the first thing I'm going to say about him is that I will not be expecting any hate for him in the comments because he's my king, and I don't like to see people who are being hateful towards him when they should be bringing that kind of energy to people like Harry, for example. So Toa is Charlie's friend, and since Charlie's spending a lot of time with Nick and Ella, spending a lot of time with Nick, and Ella has moved school, and Isaac's barely in the show, he's feeling very left out, and also he could be catching feelings for Ella, so we see how those stories develop. The thing I love about him is that he's really lovable, and he's not a fighter, but if you hurt him, or if you say something mean to somebody he loves or he cares about, then he would defend them without any hesitation. The way he stands up for Charlie because he knows that he was bullied badly in year 9 It's really sweet. One of my favourite parts is when Charlie and Toa are talking about Nick and Toa, and when Charlie and Toa are talking about Nick, and Toa says if he even thinks about hurting you or something like that, something along the lines, and Charlie says to him, I know you will murder him, and Toa says, I was actually going to say I was send him a stronger word, a DM, but murder's fine too. This is king energy. This shows that he would rather use his words, like he says things to Harry about if you crave attention that bad, because you were touched, described by your mum as a baby, stuff like that. I did think Toa might have feelings for Charlie, because I thought that would be a good twist. Everyone's thinking he has feelings for Ella, but in reality he has feelings for Charlie. But I like the projection, best friend vibes as well. The only thing I didn't understand is why he hated the Avengers. That really surprised me when he said that, being part of his nightmare situation. But apart from that, I really love him, and he is my straight gay, I like him. So the next person I'm going to talk about is Ella. Ella is Charlie's, Isaac and Toa's friend. She used to go to the boys only school with them, but now she goes to a girls only school. She is transgender, and we see how her journey of trying to find new friends develops, and we also see her feelings for Toa, and she's scared to do something about it because she has gone through so many changes, and she's scared that she would lose his friendship if he doesn't feel the same way. Something that I like about the show is that in the beginning I did think that Toa had feelings for Ella, and that's why he kept on buying her drink even though she was left already. But then I started to think maybe he's just lonely, but then the show started hinting that Ella has feelings for Toa, and that's when I realised that I was right in the beginning. The next character I'll be talking about is Darcy. So Darcy is one of Ella's new friends from her new school, and she's in a relationship with Toa. She has been out for a while, and I'm going to be honest, Darcy wasn't one of my favourite characters, but nowhere near I didn't dislike her anywhere near Harry and Ben. I find Darcy annoying at times, but I really do like her relationship with Tara. The next character I'm going to be talking about is Satama, and Tara is Darcy's girlfriend, and she's just recently come out as lesbian, so people are treating her differently, so you see how she has to deal with that, and a lot of people. And what I like about her is that she's a person of colour who's a lesbian or gay, and a lot of shows have gay black guys, but they don't have many gay black women, so it made me feel happy. And seeing that she's in an interracial relationship made me happy as well. The thing that surprised me is that it turned out that Tara and Nick had a crush, so we see how that plot, because when they were 13 they kissed once, and time that people were saying, oh, Nick has a crush on Tara wasn't fully out yet. I love how she's become a part of the group, and I think it's really special how Tara was one of the persons that Nick first came out to. Now I'm going to talk about the adults. So the first teacher I'm going to talk about is Mr. AJ. I can't pronounce his name. Okay, I'm going to call him AJ, but I know that's not how you pronounce it. So AJ is the art teacher in Charlie's school, and when Charlie was bullied in year 10, he would hide in the classroom, especially during lunchtime, and he starts to do that again after the situation with Ben, and when he starts having feelings towards Nick. It's very sad how he was the only teacher that was really there for him during the whole bully experience, but I like how he gives Charlie the straight up answers, like he tells him that you could do option A or option B, and he uses his experience to give Charlie support. The next teacher I'm going to talk about is the Bobby teacher. To be honest, I don't know her name and I don't remember her name, and I don't think it's given in the show either. But I like how she says about gay people and the sports things. The thing that annoys me is that she didn't stop the Bobby game until Charlie was laying down on the floor in pain. That's when she's like, oh, the rain is too dangerous. When in my opinion, as soon as the rain started, the game should have been cancelled. The next person I'm going to talk about is Charlie's dad. We mostly see him when he picks up Charlie, and I find it very sweet how he always gives Charlie that reassurance to call him if something bad happens, so I thought that was sweet. The last adult I'm going to be talking about is Nick's mum, and I thought she was funny. The heart-to-heart moment was really sweet, and I like when they were watching movies together. I didn't realise who the actress was, but the name was familiar, but I didn't recognise her face. So now I'm going to talk about my final thoughts. So my final thoughts on the show is that it was really good. I liked the characters, and I thought the show was very interesting. The first episode was awkward, but really cute at the same time. I'm glad I just decided to watch it, and I was very tired, but I'm happy that I finished it in one day. I was very sad at the end because I wanted Nick Nelson, but I felt better because I saw a lot of people saying in their reviews that they felt the same way after watching the show or rewatching the show. It's really nice watching a show that has more love as acceptance than hate, and even though I do like a bit of drama, it was really good to get that balance. And I hope in later season 2, and I'm excited and I'm planning to read the books, and when I do the books I'm also planning to do a review. So my favourite character is Nick, but some of my favourite characters is also Tara, Charlie and Isaac. I also do like Ella and Tori, but not as much as the others that I just said. My least favourite character is Harry, but that's a surprise to no one. I would give the show an 8 out of 10, one of my favourite shows that I've seen this year. And I was going to give it a 9, but I do see the show getting better and better in the future. I do have to put some points down because there's part of the show that does annoy me and make me angry. So recently I have got the books, so I'm going to show them now. So this is volume 1, so that's the front and that's the back. So this is the movie version, and then I got Wait, this is volume 2, so this is the front and that's the back. This is volume 3, that's the front and that's the back. And this is volume 4, and that's the front and that's the back. There's other movies from Alice that I want to get, but I want to finish those ones first and then I'll get the other ones. So that's all my thoughts on the show Heartstopper. If I've forgotten anything, then I'm sorry. If you have any shows that you would like me to watch, then please let me know in the comments down below, or you can send me a DM. With all that said, if you like this video, please leave it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on a post. I love you guys and I'll see you next time. Bye.